Regardless if you're a developer, you work in product or marketing, I bet you that AI is the trending topic in your department right now. And let's be honest, if you're not using tools like generative AI to help you come up with your next blog post or help you with your commit messages, then you're probably falling behind the curve already. Now, Optimizely Opal is Optimizely's entry into AI. However, AI means a bunch of different things to a bunch of different people. So what does this actually mean? So to help everyone out, I thought I'd record this video and do a deep dive into Optimizely Opal. Keep watching because I'm going to show you exactly what it is, where you can use it and how you can make use of it to be more productive. So stick around to the end because I guarantee I will AI you to the max. Right, I'm guessing you have a bunch of burning questions about Opal, like what actually is it? Will I need to buy a brand new product? And how much will it actually cost? So because we've got a lot to cover in this video, I'm going to give you a quick summary in 30 seconds starting now. Now, the first thing that you need to understand about Opal is that it is not a standalone product. This means you can't simply go to Optimizely and say, one AI product, please, because it doesn't exist. So this means there's no single price. Now, it's probably better to think of Opal as an initiative where Optimizely is adding AI and machine learning into all of its products. So this means that Opal is going to touch experimentation, CMP, CMS, commerce, and everything else. Now, because Opal is an initiative, it's not one single thing. So Opal will encompass generative AI. So for example, if you need to create a marketing campaign, Opal will give you the ideas of what to write, but it can also generate the content for you and the images. But because Opal is in experimentation, this is also going to encompass machine learning. So how can we get you to statistical significance quicker? Now, because Opal covers a bunch of stuff, some of the features it offers, they are going to be wrappers around things that Google or Microsoft have created. So yep, there is a ChatGPT wrapper in there, but it's much more than that. Now, for example, Optimizely has a bunch of proprietary machine learning algorithms. So we've got recommendations, we've got stats engine in experimentation. So Opal is a combination of standing on the shoulders of giants, as well as all the cool internal stuff that they've built over 20 years. Ta-da! So hopefully that explains some of it, but if it's still confusing, I'm going to show you where you can use Opal in all of Optimizely's products, and we're going to start off in experimentation. So currently on the screen, you're looking at a tool called Optimizely Web, and this is Optimizely's client-side experimentation tool. So basically, you'll probably want to use this tool if you have non-technical people or marketers who want to do experimentation on a website without developers. Now, in order to get going with this tool, basically you have this experimentation tab, and within here you can set up a brand new A/B test. Now, when we do this, you're going to get access to a visual editor. And the first thing you can use Opal for to make your life easier is to click on any bit of text. Now, basically, when you click on text, you can see in the left, we've got this Microsoft Word style editor. You can see the text has been highlighted here. And the first thing we can do is click on this generate copy button underneath this bit of text. So when we click on this, Opal's then going to read our text. It's going to give us 5 different suggestions on potentially how we can reword it. We can then click on the use button. Our text is going to be updated, and then we can actually do an A/B test to see if this bit of copy is going to convert better than the copy that we came up with originally. So now for me personally, when I saw the copy generator the first time, I thought it was pretty nifty and I could see how it's going to save a bunch of time. Now, I do know at the time of recording, this is about to be upgraded. So what's going to happen soon is that within the tab here, there's going to be a plus button. Let's say that you're setting up an experiment, you like this suggestion, and instead of just adding it into your current variation, you want to copy this text into a brand new variation. Well, currently to do that, you'd have to copy this text, click back, mess around a bit, create a new variation. However, soon you can just click on a little plus button, and then what will happen automatically is that when we go back here, a new variation will be created here, or that copy will be added into it, And this is going to, again, save you a bunch of time when you set up experiments. So nice little feature for me. Now, the second way that we can use Opal is if I click on here, you can see that there's a chat in here. And this chat is going to have access to your account. So in here, you can say, what is an MAU, which is how Optimizely figures out pricing. And then it's going to go off, it's going to scour the Optimizely database, and it's going to give you basically information that you need. Now, there's some things to note about this chat, which is pretty useful. So currently, this is using ChatGPT under the hood. However, it can be swapped to use different language models if you want to. Also, this does have access to your account settings, so it won't access other people's accounts details. And in the future, I'm sure there's going to be some updates. So you can say, what is my kind of MAU limit? What's my account plan? All that kind of good stuff. Now, when it comes to, say, AI, now, just because ChatGPT took the world by storm in 2023, end of 2022, that doesn't really mean that AI is new. Now, especially around experimentation, where the data is really key, Optimizely experimentation has got a bunch of machine learning stuff, which is pretty cool, which has also been around for about 10 or 15 years, which also gets put into the Opal branding. So let's quickly look at what these features are and quickly think about how you can use them to help you maximize your results when it comes to running your A/B tests. So the first thing I want to tell you about is the multi-arm bandit. So you can see from this little list down here. Now, a multi-arm bandit is slightly different compared to an A/B test. Now, I'm assuming that most folks haven't heard the term multi-arm bandit before, because unless you're an experimentation geek, then why would you? But the key thing to understand about this algorithm and how it compares to an A/B test is that if you're spending a bunch of money on PPC or advertising to drive traffic to your website, then a multi-arm bandit can help you get a better conversion rate for your PPC spend. Now, aside from the multi-arm bandit, we also have some Opal machine learning stuff found within this traffic allocation tab in a normal A/B test. So when we click in this tab, you can see we've got this variation traffic distribution, and in this drop down, we've got the ability to set something called Stats Accelerator mode. Now, one fun fact about Optimizely is they have a proprietary way of calculating statistical significance in experiments. Now, this was created with Stanford University, and again, there's a bunch of different maths and clever stuff here, but the key thing is, with Stats Accelerator enabled, you should be able to get to statistical significance when you're running an experiment much quicker compared to other tools. So just in case you're wondering how this works, in a summary is that when Stats Accelerator is enabled, Optimizely is going to dynamically control traffic allocation using machine learning. And basically in the background, if it notices here that this variation called layout test is looking more interesting and more likely to hit statistical significance, in the background, it's slowly going to send more traffic to this variation, and the outcome of which is you get to statistical significance quicker. Now, aside from Optimizely Web, Optimizely also has an additional testing module. This is called feature experimentation. Now, this module is more aimed at developers and product teams because it's code first feature flagging and server-side experimentation. And as you'd expect, within feature experimentation, we also have some uses of Opal. So let's see where that fits in now. So we're now inside a feature experimentation project. So basically, it's the same UI. We log in into the same portal. It's just a different type of setup here. And you can see we now have flags rather than experiments. Now at the top, you'll see we have our Opal chat. So we can still ask questions here. It's still going to have access to your data and no one else's. Now, when it comes to A/B tests and experimentation, if I click on this one, you're still going to get access to a multi-arm bandit here. You've also still got access to a Stats Accelerator mode. And a big difference where Opal's going to be coming in the future is that in this screen, you can see we've got a flag setup. If I click on variations here, you can see that I can create different types of configuration that I can use for feature flagging and testing. And what will happen in the future is you can see that I, at the moment, need to manually add in the text that I want to use in my experiments or my feature flags. In the future, there's going to be an auto-generate suggestion button for us, so we can automatically generate this type of information using generative AI. The next tool is called Optimizely Content Marketing Platform, or CMP for short. Now, if you go to the Gartner, the Forrester, you'll see that this tool has been the market leader in the quadrant for like 7-8 years, however long it is. And this is a really useful tool for marketing teams who are struggling to understand what different departments are doing, or for teams that are looking to be a lot more efficient when it comes to creating different campaigns and bits of content. Also, this can have a bunch of different benefits for the IT team, because hopefully you can reduce a bunch of your MarTech stack into a single tool, giving you some cost savings. Now, as this video probably suggests, CMP has a bunch of different AI stuff in it. So let's see how we can use Opal to make your life a little bit easier. So we are now inside of Optimizely Content Marketing Platform, CMP for short, and let's walk through this quick idea of how we can create a campaign. So I'm not sure about you, but when it comes to thinking about a campaign or creating some new content, the idea can be the hard part. And sometimes I might be talking to people over chat, like Teams, email. It could be talking to an external agency, like a Word doc, spreadsheet, So the first thing is, a backlog of where I can put some ideas, so then I can talk to other people in the team about what's good, what's prioritized, what should we work on next. Now, once we've got an idea, the next thing is we can push that idea into a workflow. Now, depending on which team you work on your persona, now, if you work in marketing and you're working towards a deadline, then a calendar view might be good. If you're like me and I'm more kind of development-led and a Kanban, this is probably a Kanban view, should I say, probably going to be more your thing. But the key thing is, when it comes to creating this campaign, at some stage, you're going to have to write some content. And this is where the task creator comes into play. Now, you can see here, I've got this article, Spanish beaches according me, rada. I've got some text and some images. Now, the first thing we can use Opal here for is clicking on this button. If I go to generate, we can actually use Opal to create images and text for us. Now, just like web experimentation, we've got the Opal chat here. So I could say, what are the 3 best beaches in Spain? And then all we need to do is wait a few seconds. We're going to get some content that's automatically generated for us, which we can then copy and paste into our campaign, saving us loads and loads of time. Now, just in terms of the image itself, picking an image can be complicated and a bit annoying at times. So if you use the dam here, you can see that we can search for, say, anything, sunglasses, Spain, whatever it might be. Then if I click on an image, you'll see that Opal is automatically using AI to tag your images. It's also possible within here to actually get Opal to actually create different web crops for you. So if you need to display your image on, say, like a mobile or a website, obviously they're going to have different kind of sizes and resolutions to make them look as good as possible. But another key thing here is that Opal will actually use auto focal point for you. So when that crop comes up, your image will look as good as possible. We're now inside Optimizely Data Platform, and this is the Optimizely tool you'd use to track your customer interactions. So we can see we've got this fictitious profile here called Alex, and we can see that from his event history, we're actually tracking every single time he's filled a form with us, or viewed a page, or even spent money, or we've sent him an email. Now, using Opal, I can click this Show Customer Summary, and this is going to give us some very easy information about how this customer's interacted with us and some information about what they might do. Now, this is basically step 1 of Opal within the data platform. Within step 2, hopefully you can see that we've got the segments and real-time segment tab here. What we'll be able to do is say, create me a real-time segment based on customers who are more likely to spend in June, for example. And using AI, we can automatically create these types of personalization groups. So this is going to be a big win for ODP in 2024. The final type of Opal capabilities I want to mention in the video is around recommendations. So recommendations definitely aren't new to Optimizely, Episerver. So I've been working with Episerver related stuff, I don't know, maybe 20, 21 years. because, yep, I'm very old. I think they've been doing this type of recommendations for maybe 12 or 13. Now, when it comes to content or product recommendations, basically how it works is using data like ODP to track your customer interactions. You can then create better personalized experiences out the box. So let's have a quick look at how this works, just so you can get an understanding of another Opal feature in action. Okay, so let's say that I want to go on holiday. So I've come to this website and I thought I would browse around. Now I've seen an article, it interests me, so I've clicked on it, I've gone to this page. Now, if I jump back to the home page, hopefully you may notice that the hero imaging now has been updated to some European image. Also, if I scroll down, you can see that all the content block here has been updated and it's all based on being in Barcelona. Now, all of this magic is made possible by a module called Content Recommendations. So if your aim is to improve engagement on your website because people are jumping off very quickly, then adding in better personalized content recommendations can help give your website a much more sticky feel. So basically what content recommendations will do is in the background, it will spider all of your web pages a bit like a Google search spider. And then as I'm browsing around my site, it's going to create a profile for you. And then it's basically going to use the data in a topic cloud that is created based on your content and that profile information. And it will use machine learning to figure out the best type of content to display to your users. Now, content recommendations is going to be really useful for websites that are predominantly made up of articles and blogs. However, like this website, what happens if you're more focused towards e-commerce? Now, in this example, if we wanted to improve average order value, then content recommendations probably isn't going to be as useful. And instead, this is where the product recommendations come into play. So this type of recommendation works kind of similar as content, is that we're going to create a profile, and then as you look around and click on different things, we're going to give better product recommendations. Now, it uses machine learning to figure out what's the best product display. You can also pick from about 100 different algorithms. So again, if you're looking for advanced recommendations, this is another area that Opal within Optimizely touches upon. Now, even though AI is super cool, I know that there's only so much AI you can take in a single sitting in a single video, so I'm going to wrap things up now. However, I haven't covered Opal in Optimizely CMS. So how can we use AI to automatically generate English language into French language, for example, and the other bits and bobs? And if that type of video sounds interesting to you, let me know in the comments, because I may well do a CMS video very shortly. So keep your eye out to that. Now, obviously, before we part ways, if you haven't clicked on like or smash subscribe, do that right now before you forget. Now, just in case you have zero clues who I am, then my name is John and I release a video every single Sunday aimed at helping people become better at building websites, experimentation, development, and a whole bunch of tech-related stuff. So smash subscribe before you forget. Now, the final thing I would say is that if you want to learn a little bit more about Optimizely, then on the screen right now, I've done a great video which teaches you all about Optimizely Web. I recommend you check that one out because it's a classic. So aside from that, until next Sunday, happy coding.